Did you know that the Iran-Contra Affair was one of the most controversial and secretive operations in American history? It involved secret arms deals and illegal funding of rebels, shaking the very core of the Reagan administration. Ronald Reagan promised a new era of patriotism, prosperity, and strength to the American people. The 1980s were marked by a renewed sense of American pride and optimism. In 1981, Reagan took office, a pivotal moment in American history. The Cold War was still raging, casting a long shadow over global politics. Reagan believed America needed to stand tall against the Soviet Union, the so-called evil empire. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. In the Middle East, Iran was embroiled in a bloody revolution with far-reaching consequences. In Nicaragua, a leftist government battled US-backed Contra rebels, creating a volatile situation. These conflicts set the stage for the Iran-Contra Affair, a scandal that would shake the Reagan presidency. This wasn't just a foreign policy blunder, it was a significant misstep. It became a full-blown constitutional crisis, testing the fabric of American democracy. The Iran-Contra Affair revealed the complexities of international politics, showing how secret arms deals and geopolitical maneuvering could lead to disaster. For more in-depth historical content, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Now, let's dive deeper into the Iran-Contra Affair. The actors in this drama were a motley crew, a collection of individuals with vastly different backgrounds and agendas. Ayatollah Khomeini, the fiery and unyielding leader of Iran, held American hostages, a thorn in the side of the Reagan administration, causing international tension and domestic outrage. Then there were the Contras, a ragtag group of anti-communist rebels fighting Nicaragua's Sandinista government, a government that had aligned itself with the Soviet Union. Reagan loathed the Sandinistas. He saw them as Soviet puppets, a direct threat to US interests in Central America, and a symbol of communist expansion in the Western Hemisphere. But Congress, wary of another Vietnam, had banned US military aid to the Contras, fearing another prolonged and costly conflict. This presented a significant problem for Reagan. He wanted to support the Contras, to curb the spread of communism, but his hands were tied by legislative restrictions. Or so it seemed. Enter a group of rogue officials within the Reagan administration, individuals who were willing to bend the rules. Men who believed they knew better than Congress, who thought they could outmaneuver the legislative branch. Men who saw an opportunity in the chaos, a chance to advance their own agendas. They hatched a plan as audacious as it was reckless, a plan that would eventually lead to one of the biggest political scandals in American history. The plan was simple, on paper at least. It was a bold and audacious move, one that required precision and secrecy. Sell weapons to Iran, a country officially designated as a state sponsor of terrorism. This was no ordinary transaction. It was fraught with peril and political ramifications. Use the profits to fund the Contras, a group Congress had explicitly forbidden from funding. This was a direct challenge to legislative authority. It was a gamble. A dangerous one. The stakes were incredibly high, and the potential fallout was enormous. The Reagan administration knew it, but they were desperate. Desperation often leads to risky decisions. They wanted the hostages back. The emotional toll on the families was immense, and the pressure was mounting. They wanted the Sandinistas gone. The conflict in Nicaragua was escalating, and the administration saw this as a way to tip the scales. And they were willing to bend the rules, even break them, to achieve their goals. The lines between right and wrong became increasingly blurred. What followed was a convoluted series of arms for hostages swaps. Each step was shrouded in secrecy and deception. The US, through Israeli intermediaries, shipped missiles to Iran. This covert operation was meticulously planned. In return, Iran was supposed to pressure Lebanese militants to release American hostages. The success of the plan hinged on fragile alliances. It was a foreign policy fiasco in the making. The repercussions would be felt for years to come, casting a long shadow over the administration. The money from the arms sales, funneled through Swiss bank accounts, ultimately went to the Contras. They used it to buy weapons, ammunition, and essential supplies. The Contras, reinvigorated by the clandestine American support, intensified their brutal war against the Sandinistas. The situation in Nicaragua spiraled out of control. The Contras, accused of human rights abuses, became increasingly brutal and ruthless. The Sandinistas, facing a US-backed insurgency, cracked down harshly on dissent. Nicaragua descended further into chaos and widespread violence. Meanwhile, the American public remained largely in the dark. The Reagan administration, fearing exposure, went to great lengths to keep the operation secret. They lied to Congress. They shredded documents. They obstructed justice. They were playing a dangerous game, and the stakes were getting higher by the day. Despite the scandal, Reagan completed his term and left office with high approval ratings. However, the Iran-Contra Affair left a lasting stain on his legacy. The war in Nicaragua eventually ended with a peace agreement in 1990, leading to democratic elections and a fragile peace. What are your thoughts on the Iran-Contra Affair? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your opinions. And while you're here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing history videos. Stay informed and never miss an update.